I want to save you some time and worry and frustration. Doing more of the same thing when it comes to an English learner who is not picking things up that way, it's still not going to get you where you want to go, right? It's not working because it's not working for that child. Doing more phonics and doing more isolated skills isn't going to get you there. I am not saying at all, I'm not saying don't teach phonics. I've had that come back and like, no, of course we have to teach phonics. What I'm saying is we can't just do more of the same and think we're going to get a different result. So here's the way I want you to do a mind shift, right? I want to get into your brain and reorganize it. And I want you to think about literacy as more like a funnel, right? Whole to part. We talked about part to whole, little pieces, kind of a mountain, right? We do the little pieces and then we do this, then we do this, then we do this. I want you to think funnel, whole to part. English learners, multilingual students who struggle with literacy in general, tend to do better when we start with meaning. When we're in the classroom and we're going B, D, L, or B, and D, and L, that means absolutely nothing to most people if you walk around saying that. But it means absolutely nothing to English learners because there's no context, right? When you put the C, cat, and they don't know that word cat, there's nothing to stick to, right? And sometimes it sticks to the wrong thing because maybe that's gato. And so now I've got C, gato, and you get my point. Sometimes it doesn't stick that way. With English learners, start with meaning, right? We need a reason to communicate. So whether it be a read aloud or shared reading or co-created text, we're writing something together that we want to read, start with the message. When students understand the message, so let's say we solved a problem in math, and then together we wrote an explanation of the sequence of what we did to solve that problem. So that would be a co-created text. What did we do first? And together we write this beautiful model with sequencing words and, cohesion and flow and math vocabulary, beautiful model text. There's meaning now. Then we read through it. We're like, yes, we all agree. This is what we did. We're proud of ourselves. We know what we did. Now that we have meaning, funnel, right? Now that we have meaning, we can start breaking that down into its parts. Maybe we want to analyze it for initial letter sounds. Now we want to look at vowel patterns, and anything you would teach in the traditional style. Now's the time to start bringing it in. Where did we use the k sound? Let's go find it, right? Meaning first, then break it down into the parts, right? You start with meaning, break it down into the parts, do your mini lessons on whether it be phonics or vocabulary or whatever it may be you're focusing on today, and then pull it back together and take it back to meaning. So a more effective flow of a literacy lesson for students in this position would be a co-created text, break it down into the literacy skills that you need to teach, the students need to learn, then have them put it back together and read it back to you, and then have them use those skills in their own writing, right? All sticking around this meaning. And it is absolutely my favorite kind of lesson to do in Model. So if you have any questions or you need some suggestions, feel free to reach out. So I hope this gives you a way to think about things, gives you something that you can try. Can't hurt, right? And if you have a very programmed language arts block and you say, I can't do that in my small group because my district says that I have to do this in my small group, that's okay. Do what your district says you have to do during language arts. But like I said, we can do whole to part in math. We can do whole to part in science. We could do whole to part in PE, in music. We could do whole to part in the cafeteria, right? If we have something to talk about, something we can write about, any kind of context, we can do whole to part. So give it a try, shift your mind, and see what happens.